Welcome to TrekTrav. I am Trav, and this is Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode Something About Farms. This review is late. I had a cold and things happen, so this is going to be sort of a quick review. Basically, I didn't mind this episode. It starts off with this really cool, we're on Kronos. We are getting sort of a farm of Klingons and they're working. We get the Klingon from, I think, Season 3 or Season 4. And he's been demoted. He's not a captain anymore. And yeah, we get to see like him and his brother. His brother's trying to make their ship for delivering wine look good. And we see that someone's trying to contact him from Starfleet because it has the badge on it. And we find out later when he goes to deliver this wine that it's Mariner and Boimler. Mariner has come along. Boimler has a slightly more full beard. She sort of just barges in, stops this ex-captain from picking up a Klingon lady. Then they go on a trial because she wants to help him get his captaincy back. Boimler's really excited by the danger and sort of the fighting within this Klingon bar where they've delivered the blood wine. His character's becoming a little bit more, I want to say a risk taker, but I don't know why. Obviously, it's because of what happened earlier in the season. On the Cerritos, Dr. Migalimu has some guests coming aboard, some culinary review people, and he's super excited and super anxious, and Captain Freeman is sort of not understanding it, but sort of understanding it. They get on board and they're pretentious, and he gives them a meal from the replicator that he programmed, and they think it's disgusting. And they spit it out and they act offended, and Migalimu's like, oh, I'm so disappointed. Then they suggest making them a proper meal of cooking the actual meal and finding the actual fish, and they get helped by Rutherford and Tandy, and they once again find it disgusting. So it's a giant fish blobby thing. Meanwhile, with the ex-captain, I've forgotten his name, Boimler and Mariner, basically, they go to like, I want to say the Starfleet, like the people who control trade and captaincy and stuff like that. So, and then they basically bring up a right, and they make some jokes about Klingons have so many rights and stuff like that. And Boimler is once again enthusiastic. They have to go through 3 trials. They get his brother, who doesn't want to be involved, but he is involved because Mariner basically baits him with some cash. And we get to see the trials. We get to see the pain sticks. We get to see them fighting against a Targ, a big Targ. And then there's the funniest joke in the whole episode is that when they beat this Targ, the Klingon guy goes, oh, and cut its nails and express its anal glands. And the brother kind of gets excited, but Mariner's sort of like, this is your Targ, isn't it? You just pay for a bloody Targ groomer, which I thought was really, really funny. But overall, he gets to that point, then there's a battle, then they have a talk. Basically, he has to sacrifice one of his team, the 4 of them, Boimler, Mariner, his brother, and himself. He chooses himself. Then they have a bit of discussion, and then they work out a way to get around it. They basically challenge the leader of this group, and he loses the fight and it's like automatic conscription. So he's automatically conscripted to the crew under this ex-captain. So when he says he wants someone killed, he kills the leader, which is like all clever Klingon lore stuff, which we're quite used to in Star Trek, especially if you watch TNG. and he gets his own, he doesn't want to be a part of this fleet. So he decides that, like Martok before him, I like the Martok reference, he is going to just start in his small little freighter. His brother's coming along. He's going to be the captain. His brother's going to be his first officer. Mariner is excited. She sort of owed him. She wanted to help him because they'd met before. And then Mariner goes, yeah, but we were investigating this subspace anomaly, da-da-da-da. Once again, bringing up the sort of thread through this season, which is subspace anomalies popping up everywhere. Meanwhile, on the ship, the birds get Dr. Miglimoo in trouble. He's going to culinary prison, and they can't figure out, like, he doesn't understand why they don't like his food because it was delicious. When they get to the planet, Freeman basically sets it up so when they get the prison food, which for some reason is a delicacy, they fill it with shit, basically, and they give it to, they offer it to these two reviewers first, and they taste and go, oh, this is delectable. And then Mariner goes, ha-ha! Not Mariner, Freeman. And they find out that these reviewers have lost their sense of taste. Dr. Miglimoo is going to use his therapy to help them, because they kind of look down on therapists because they're a culinary culture, I gather. They boldly seek new flavors. And we sort of get a nice little rounding off. It's good to see sort of a bit more of Miglimoo's culture. It's still quite weird. And I overall, this episode it's okay. There's some funny-ish moments. There's a lot of Klingon stuff. Boimler gets excited by the Klingon stuff. I think that it wasn't a huge, like, I wasn't super entertained. Like, it wasn't hugely funny. The funniest bit was the bit I mentioned before. I definitely liked the opening sequence being kind of like an insurrection opening sequence, but on Kronos. I also liked the fact that we went to Kronos and saw this stuff. Like, we don't get to spend a lot of time on Kronos. When we do, it's always in some stuffy old chamber where they're doing some sort of cultural or diversity thing. Watching too much politics stuff, where they do too much like trials and traditions, and it's just a bit overboard. Whereas this episode sort of explores, like, you get two characters flying past each other, you see sort of their vehicles, and I think that's what Lower Decks, apparently I can't speak English today. The best thing Lower Decks does is show these alien planets without the sort of constraint of budget, without the constraint of sort of idea, or sort of possibility of creating these things. So in animation, they can create Kronos, and they can go into things, and they can show us designs, they can show us bars, different types of Klingons, outfits, vehicles. Like, it's a really, I like when Lower Decks does this. They've done this with a few episodes where they sort of go and explore these different planets and cultures. It's sort of, the funny thing is Lower Decks goes and visits more Strange New Worlds than Strange New Worlds does. But overall, it was a good episode. It wasn't spectacularly amazing. I'm really hoping that we get some tie-in with Prodigy because of these subspace anomalies, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. What did you think about Star Trek Lower Decks? Something about farms. See, a cold. I wasn't lying. And make sure to write and leave a comment and subscribe if you'd like. And I'll be back very soon with my regular video.